Good evening and welcome to Momentum Chat. I'm your host, Majida Bay, and today we are going to have a conversation about why most people don't get what they want. If you want to find out why, stay tuned. Hey, share this, like, and we'll be talking to you very shortly. Good evening and welcome, John. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm incredible. How about you?
I'm fantastic.
I'm
So,
feeling,
say what?
I'm feeling thankful on this
Feeling
Thanksgiving.
thankful.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And we definitely have a lot to be thankful for. This has been an interesting year. Uh,
absolutely.
so tonight's conversation, this is the last momentum chat for the month of November. And tonight's conversation is about why most people don't get what they want. So, John, you and I had the opportunity to be on a training a few days ago, and I was really inspired by the speaker. He, just brought a lot of things to light. Just had a very mentally tough mindset, and I was inspired by his conversation. So I wanted to share that with our audience tonight. And so, for those that are joining us, this is John Epting, financial broker with over 19 plus years in the financial services industry, a father, a husband, a man of faith, somebody I truly respect and admire, who's
Thank
definitely had an impact on my life and within his community and within his family. And I'm Majida Bay, self-proclaimed financial conductor, helping parents and professionals to get on the right track to financial success.
you.
And
Well,
so tonight,
that's
yeah,
that's
that's me.
that's no longer self-proclaimed now. You are definitely that. So no, you're not self-proclaimed. Many people would say that about you now, and even more. So
Thank
good to
you.
be
I
on here.
appreciate that. Yeah, I'm embracing it. I'm finding my niche, if you will. Like, hey,
Yeah,
this is my lane. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's pretty exciting.
yeah,
So we wanted to have a conversation tonight about why most people don't get what they want. So to
yeah.
start off, John, how would you answer that? Why don't most people get what they want?
Well, it's very true of what we said. I think the biggest reason is they don't know what they want.
Mm,
There's an old adage that if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. So sometimes we're very loose in what we want. We haven't narrowed it down. We haven't gotten specific. I used to say that a lot too. Actually, I call it my CTC questions. Right, cut the crap. What do you want? Why do you want it? And what are you willing to do and sacrifice to get it? And really, when you narrow that down, and I'm not talking about money per se. Some people will say, "Man, I want $1 million, or I want to make a lot of money." That's not really what you want either. If I don't think money is what I ever was fighting for. What I was fighting for was my freedom, and we've talked about this many times on this particular chat. That I was fighting for my freedom. It was what money could do. It was what the lifestyle it could provide. The freedoms it could afford my wife and my daughters is what I was fighting for, not really money. And some people, when it on the outside, and the people who are like me or even better than me, they understand what I'm talking about. It looks like to everyone else you're chasing money. It looks like to everyone else you're materialistic. When material stuff is far from what I mean, if you would think I was materialistic, I'd be driving something different than I drive. But I'm so focused on value as well. So I don't drive what you would think I would drive. I drive something that's just as nice, but costs me thousands of dollars less. And actually, guys who own what you would think I would own, they've been in my car and they're like, "Damn, this is better than my car." Right? So that's just how it. I'm more of a value guy. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a point because I just want it. That I'll drive an Aston Martin, and my daily driver will be a Bentley Flying Spur. That's what my daily driver would be. I'm going to drive around the $2 million bus motor coach. Prevost H345, built by Liberty Coach, if I can have it. But that's not really what we. But as I'm talking, I want you to think how clear I was in just what I want. How clear I am in that bus. You know, you got to get very clear, because once you get clear, then you can really run. You can actually strategize how to get it when you're clear. But if you're, and I'm not just talking about material stuff. I'm even talking about in your relationships. Have you written down? Have you sat down and wrote out what you? And I'm not talking to you ladies with all this list of things the guy has to have, right? Because if fellas sat down and wrote a list too, you guys would be out of luck too, right? No, I'm talking about, like, what would you like? Paint me a picture of the day in the life of what your life would look like with your significant other or your spouse or whatever that, paint a picture in your mind of what you want that to be like, and then make that happen. Don't just expect it to happen. So that's pretty much, I believe people don't know what they want. They haven't figured it out.
Very true. And it's interesting though, right? Like it seems simple, right? When you see it, right? Just figure out what you want, write it down, and be clear about it. And we're not necessarily taught that. I know I didn't learn that in school. I didn't necessarily learn that growing up. But in recent years, as I've been exposed to certain things and, had different associations, I've actually learned that, like, that's how most people become successful. They're clear about what they want. What you mentioned earlier. They know what they want. They know why they want it, and they know what they're willing to do to get it. And then they write it down, and then they focus on it. And so you speak to that a little bit, how important it is to focus on what it is that you want in terms of a lot of times we focus on the things that we don't want, right? We complain or we blame, we justify, instead of being focused on what is it that I want and what does it take to get it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's levels of it. First of all, I believe there's levels of finding out what you want, what you narrowing it down. And sometimes it takes some experiences. It takes you to be involved in things, to be exposed to things, to have the space created in your mind of things, right? For example, there was a space created in my mind that I could do something bigger than I thought. But if nobody had ever even said that, or I never met someone who had done that, and I'm not talking about, a professional basketball player or something like that. No, just a normal, regular guy, right? Had somebody that looked like me, walk like me, talk like me, smell like me, hadn't done it, and me hadn't been exposed to them, I might have ever even thought past where I thought. But even if you're not in that place, I met with a lady last week, and she said, well, you've been exposed to that type of stuff. I say, you're absolutely right. But do you even have a vision for what you've been exposed to thus far? Even if it's small, do you already have a vision? Do you already have what you want, even in the world you may be in, right? It'll start there. And then as you get closer to those goals, you will be exposed to bigger than you. And I'm at a point in my life, and I have been for a long time, I don't even want anything I can do. I want to go after things so big that once they're accomplished, everybody around has to say, I had to be God. I don't want anything I can do, right? If I can do it, it don't even take faith. Think about it. If you can do that, if you can go buy that car, if you can go live in that neighborhood, you don't even need faith, right? But if you talking about a neighborhood that, right now, and even in the next 3 years, the financial track you're currently on can get you to that neighborhood. You don't need faith to do that. And I believe you should really go for things bigger. And that thing you have at the bottom of the screen, right? Write the vision, make it plain. That's a biblical principle. God said do that. Write the vision, make it plain, so all who read it can run. Right? Now, the funny thing about that, it says all who read it, which means that vision has to be so big that a bunch of people can fit in it. Because here's the
absolutely.
Yeah, you're not going to achieve what if your thing is big enough. You shouldn't achieve it by yourself. Some people should have had to go with you, right? In all honesty, there's not really any self-made millionaires and billionaires, right? They're all team-made billionaires and millionaires, right? You gotta have, if you're in the real estate game, you got a team of people helping you get that done, right? Or whoever it is, blah, 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 right? In my business, right? I build teams, right? Not just a financial coach, I'm in leadership development. So putting people in the right place, getting the right people on the bus, then getting them in the right seat on the bus. And sometimes I got to pull the bus over and let some people off because they've gone as far as they need to go in the destination, right? And because I qualify people to be in my life. The only people who belong in my life are somewhere between my present and my goal, right? And if they've already done all they're going to do in that, ain't no sense in them being in it, right? And it's not a bad thing. It's just certain times, they need to go to a different terminal and get on a different flight. Nothing wrong with that.
I like what you said about that, having your vision, right? Your vision has to be big enough for other people to fit inside of it. And I think that's something that the trainer spoke to as well the other day. He said that your dreams or your goals are for you, but your goals are for you, but your dreams are bigger than you, right? They're for other people. And when you think about, everybody likes to quote, Martin Luther King, I have a dream, right? But like his dream, I have a dream speech. Yes. What is that? No. I'm sorry. His I have a dream speech spoke to a world, right? A society that other people could benefit. Other people could be treated based on the content of their character, not just on the color of their skin.
Absolutely.
Yes. No. I'm sorry. That little one. She's an aggressive one. Right? She knows what she wants. She knows why she wants it. She knows what she's willing to do.
Yeah. And she was willing to do some stuff to get it too.
She done stood up in the chair. She's trying to jump out of the chair to grab what's on top of the entertainment center. It's some Play-Doh up there. So she's focused, right? She's laser beam focused on what it is she wants. And I think that's cute.
Can I speak to that for a second?
Absolutely.
Having your child know what she want like that and grabbing you like she's doing and all that type of stuff. Can you imagine if we kept that same level? Hey, sweetie. Hey. Can you imagine if we kept that same level of tenacity throughout our life? It's just funny how children just believe that they can do things. They don't think about it. Most of the time, they don't think about the risk. We end up messing them up, talking to them about the risk, talking to them about the fact that they could get hurt. We end up messing them up. We end up hurting them, right? Children believe they can do anything until they talk to an adult. So most of the time, we've screwed up our children. We've placed our own PTSD on our children. And I understand our intentions are good. Our intentions are good. I understand our intentions, right? But our intentions sometimes just mess them all the way up, right? Kind of trying to forewarn them of things when really they don't need it. God created them special in that way for them to just have faith. And then we kind of screw it up. So it's funny, children, isn't it funny? They come out the womb knowing what they want. And then it's when they start talking to adults is when they get unclear on what they want. Isn't that funny? Like even my 50-year-old, we've been lucky that we've gotten a homeschooler, and so she's kind of lived in a different world to a degree, where we never wanted to push our thoughts and our beliefs on her. We allow her to come up with those things on her own, and it's funny. She's become sarcastic because we don't push anything on her, but she watches all the I guess in the world you if you would agree with me, you'd probably see a lot of double standards, if you will, right? A lot of hypocrisy, right? So she's become very sarcastic because she watches all this hypocrisy, right? People say one thing, do another, right? They hold other people to a standard they don't hold themselves to. So she just sees it, and it's really cool because we just get to sit and listen. It's like, Wow, you figured that out all by yourself.
Right.
It's so weird. But Jessie just believes she can do stuff. Don't get me wrong, she's still a teenager. She still has her own issues, right? She does have friends. And so it ain't been her parents that kind of make her believe she can't do certain things. It's been people she's associated herself with, right? But even that, I try to just let her, right? Let her watch what happens with her mom and dad, but let her go feel that out, right? And we're here to coach you. But it's amazing how children are, and if you imagine we could have faith like a child, and then your total world changes when you do.
Yeah. And what really excited me, you know, after hearing that information and, you know, being reminded of those things was like, what if like I'm relearning what I unlearned somehow in childhood, right? Just through life experiences. And so now being able to teach those principles to my children, right? Like they already have the faith, they already have the belief. And so if I can just inform them, well, all you got to do is write it down now. Write it down and then affirm it. Right. So can you speak a little bit to how affirming, like literally articulating, saying it out loud, how does that help to bring that vision into focus and to bring it to manifestation?
Yeah. Well, first you need to know what you want, right? And then the second thing you did say, you got to write it down. Everything was built 3 times. Everything, a great marriage, everything is built 3 times. First it comes in your head, then you got to put it on paper, then it's erected. Right? So it's built in here, then it's built on some paper, right? If you're building your dream home, just play with me for a second. You're building your dream home, right? You got this 14,900 square foot thing you're going to be building. First thing you do, most people think is the foundation. No, it's actually, you go to see some architects over here in Town Center where I am, and then they actually put it on paper for you first. Then a foundation is built, and then it's erected, right? Okay, so it got to go on paper. But then, right, so your vision, whatever it is, it need to be on paper. Then you need to create some affirmations that connect to that vision. So you may not be actually saying that vision, but you need some affirmations that will connect to that vision, and maybe even the steps or the person you need to become to get to that vision. Okay? So there's just certain affirmations you need to say. There's affirmations my wife and I say to our daughter that our daughter says, right? In reference to her being the better version of her mommy and daddy. She takes in all of our gifts and none of our shortcomings, right? That's one of our affirmations, believe it or not, for our daughter, but that's our daughter's affirmation as well, right? She's a better version of us, right? So that's part of my legacy. But affirmations can play a huge now some people think affirmations are corny. There was a time when I did, just being really honest with you, especially saying them out loud. That felt weird, right? Stuff like that. But I noticed it started programming you and you start believing it. And then as you believe it, you start walking in it. Now, here's the bad thing. In our world today, especially here in the United States, we take on bad affirmations, negative affirmations that aren't even true. But then you'll walk it out like it's true, right? And that's what a myth is, right? So if you don't know what a myth is, I'll say this to you. If you tell a lie long enough, often enough, loud enough, with enough passion, people will start accepting it as true. Tell a lie long enough, loud enough, often enough, people will start accepting it as true, right? And there's a lot of myths out there in the world, right? And just because you believe something, that doesn't make it true. Okay. So you can have good affirmations, you can have negative ones too. You can have something that serve you and take you to a new level of life and happiness and joy and peace, or you can have negative ones that really damage you from the inside out.
I definitely agree with that. And I like you, affirmations. I was just like, that's so hokey. Like, who does that, right? But
it almost felt like lying. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, like you're speaking things like that manifest. Yeah. But that was a really a struggle for me for a long time, because I was like, I could only see as far as I could work if that makes sense, right? You spoke about it earlier, like if your dreams are big enough for you to achieve, then you don't need faith, right? And I felt like I had faith, but I'm like, I could only trust what I could see, like it was hard to like trust what people say or trust even what, not so much what I say, like I trust myself, but it was hard to trust what other people would say. And so I trusted my actions, right? Like I know if I did it, like there's evidence that it was done, but to just speak something, and I didn't want to lie to myself, right? Like I'm affirming these things. And there's a quote by Jim Rohn. He says, affirmations without execution is the beginning of delusion, something to that effect, right? So like I'm affirming these things, but I'm not taking any action or executing. You delude yourself into thinking that you're just going to by happenstance achieve a certain level of success that you won't. And so I don't want people to get into that mode either, where like I'm just going to affirm it and I'm attracted to me, right? But I think there is something to hearing yourself speak certain things. And I think that kind of goes back to like, because we're told so many things, we take in all those negative messages, those negative affirmations over time. We have to start speaking the positive affirmations and start hearing them in order to start to have the belief that we can manifest something different, and to program ourselves into that mindset. So definitely, yeah.
But I think another thing I want to say, right, that I used to, actually I still teach it, but I've said this on stage so many times, I've lost track how many times I said it. I said, whatever dreams you have, you got to have details to them. So many people are so loose with what they want. Yeah. Oh, I want a better job, or I want a better career. What does that look like? I just did this to somebody. I just did this. I want to do something better. I want to. Okay, what would you like to do? Well, I don't know. What? No, you got to have some detail. Okay, let's start with something stupid then. How far would you like the commute to be? I know that sounds stupid, but that's a detail. How far would you like the commute to be to get to your new career? Okay, how would you like to dress to go to it? Okay, what type of people would you like to work with? What do they look like? I sound so weird. I know I sound weird. One of the things, I didn't know what I wanted to do, especially when I was a kid. I kind of thought I wanted to be in law enforcement. But as things went on, I knew I didn't want to just be a police officer. Right. So then it became, I wanted to wear a suit as a police officer. Well, that sounds like a detective, doesn't it? And then it sounds like, then I've narrowed down that I wanted to be in fugitive recovery for the U.S. Marshals. Now, I never explored that dream, but I didn't know a long time ago. I was narrowing it down to specifics of what I wanted to do, because I kind of didn't want to be in an office, right? So if I had to be a certain type of detective, I'm in the office all the time. No, I want to be out in the field. I want to be out, right? And I thought chasing some fugitive would really be cool. Plus, it's dangerous. Ooh, that sounds good. I get shot at. This is awesome, right? I know I sound weird, right? But that's what my thinking was. Now, come to find out, now I do wear a suit. I do go to an office, but I don't spend a whole lot of time in the office. I spend speaking to people and showing them certain things. I still get to have a lot of fun with that. Now, I don't get shot at no more, but there's a part of my life where I did. All right, so that part was fun, and
take that off.
It. And especially I didn't get paid well to do that. So, but it was a fun time, and I did it for something I believed in. Right, and this is gonna sound weird. One of the reasons I wanted to wear a suit and stuff like that. Please don't. I'm happily married now. So everybody can relax on this next statement, okay? I thought one of the most attractive things for a woman to be in was a business suit. I remember being a kid, we would go downtown Chicago, and see all these women walking around in business suits, and that was just the most attractive. I've never been interested in women in this half naked not interested, right? But when my wife puts on a business suit and she's wearing her 4-inch heels, she only's 5'3", them little bitty legs and them heels. Oh, Lord Jesus. It As silly as that sound, those were details. I'm making it fun for you, but those were details, people. Do you have details? Hey, I want to be married. Okay, what does he look like? What does she look like? How tall is she? What's her shape? What's her figure? Right? I already thought all that stuff out. Right? And come to find out, look at that. I'm married to what I thought out. Isn't that funny? And this is before I learned all of those techniques. Right? I want a new car. What kind of car? Right? Because if I give you a $200 clunker, your prayer just got answered. I want to make more money. I'll give you $1. Your prayer just got answered. How much more? You got to be clear on those details. And believe it or not, they'll start manifesting themselves. I know this stuff sounds hokey, but I think you and I both, Majida, are proof.
Yeah.
Right. First, because they were hokey to both of us at first. Right? It was like, what? And read it out loud. What? It don't take all that. I remember saying that to myself. It don't take all that. Well, thank God I got over that. It does.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like similar, like I wasn't, I remember my dream job was to be like Cheryl Miller. Okay. Like I wanted to interview basketball players after the game. I played basketball growing up. And so I was like, that'd be a pretty cool career. I get to interview the players after, I was a tomboy growing up. So like, it was just cool, like hanging around the guys and, that type of stuff. So I'm like, that'd be kind of cool. I get to be around the sport that I love and get to, talk to these athletes and, kind of hear their story and that type of thing. So that's the only dream job that I can recall having.
Wow.
However, right, my natural gifts, if you will, kind of led me down the path of engineering via math, right? I chose engineering because I love math, and then engineering led me to project management and construction, and then from there, right, I had some life experiences where I'm like, all right, I'm making more money than I was in college, but I don't understand money, so let me learn a little bit. But it was, there was always this desire, right? And I don't really take credit for it. I do believe that that's a gift that I've been given as well by God, that he put this innate desire in me to want to grow, right? To figure things out. So like if something wasn't working out right, and it's something interesting that like my parents, I remember them saying even when I was younger that I was just kind of like that child. Like I was that child who kind of, I would pick up on certain things or see things, observe things going on around me, and I would, bring something to a person that they were thinking about, or, little things like that. And so those gifts were there, and it's possible to start nurturing them earlier rather than later. Absolutely. But also being conscious, right, about how my example, my life is influencing my children. It's like, all right, if I didn't like certain things in my childhood, how can I improve my children's childhood? How can I make their experience better so that I can facilitate their growth, help them cultivate their gifts and talents earlier, and help them figure some of this stuff out sooner rather than later so that they can start affirming, right? We get up and say our affirmations together, or we write down our goals and we put our vision board on the wall and, put ourselves in the pictures of the places that we want to go travel and things like that. And they see it. And like you said, they already have the faith and the belief that like whatever they want is possible. And then you show them, right, the correlation between, hey, you think it, you believe it, you write it down, you affirm it. And when they start to see those things manifest, you can instill that habit, if you will, from a very young age, and then they can become unstoppable, So that's really what excites me about, learning these things even now, right? We sometimes think, oh, it's too late for me, or, I don't.
Oh my God, no. What?
Jim Rohn says, give it as a gift to your children, right? If you think learning another language or reaching certain goals are too late for you, give it as a gift to your children. Yeah. Or to the next generation of your family. There's still so much.
That's a dangerous place to be when you start thinking that it's too late for you. That's so dangerous. And I'm not God. Thank God I'm not God, right? But if I was God and I looked down on earth and you were one of the children talking about, well, it's too late for me, it'd be time for me to take you out. because you're serving no purpose on my earth anymore, right? I'm sure he wants people down here who believe, who like, yo, I can do more, right? Especially if I got him backing me, right? So stuff like that, that's actually a dangerous place. I think another reason that people don't get what they want, of course, they don't know what they want. Okay. But even once you figure out what you want, I think ego holds people back. Them not willing to ask somebody. Them not willing. They want everything. They want themselves to figure everything out. When really people were put here on this earth and went through things for you. You know, I've realized the things that I've gone through in my life, they weren't for me. They were for someone else, and someone else needed to watch me walk through that, and I needed to walk through it with determination, with courage, with class, so that I could show other people how to walk through it. Right? The tough stuff you've gone through, I don't think it's really for you. I think for other people to learn it. And a lot of times out of ego, I hear this all the time too, especially once I teach someone something new in reference to finances or dollar cost average or index funds or whatever the case may be. They're like, well, why ain't nobody ever teach me? Or why you ain't never asked nobody? They don't never, it's always they ain't never, you want to learn something, you don't go, the library don't come to you, you got to go to the library. You got to seek out information, right? It is ridiculous the amount of money out in this world. Ridiculous. Yet we have a bunch of people probably listening to me right now thinking to themselves, everybody's struggling. It's been a bad year. 2020 has just been a horrible year. It's only been a horrible year for a very few of you. Seriously, I know you probably thought, oh no, it's been bad for everybody. No, it's been businesses started this year. There's been millionaires created this year. The Dow Jones just hit a record high, first time ever. It ain't all bad. It's the world you live in that's all bad, and it's probably started in your mind. Sorry.
No need to apologize. That's what this conversation is about. You know, like I said, this is the last chat for November, but of course, this time of year, people start thinking about New Year's resolutions, and they're planning for next year, right? They're not finishing this year; they're planning for next year, right? They've given up on 2020. You know, all right, we're just going to, you know, chuck that one up to to whatever, COVID, right? And they're all right. Next year is going to be better. However, if you don't fundamentally get certain things right, if you don't fundamentally work on yourself, personally develop, personally grow, you know, we've talked about get around some other associations and all of those things. 2021 is going to be just like 2020. So it's not what's around you, right? Like Jim Rohn says, it's not the blowing of the wind that determines your life future. It's the setting of the sail. So how are you setting up your sail so that no matter what economic crisis, pandemic, any of that happens, your sail, right? You just shift your sail to get to the destination that you want. But if you don't know what that destination is, the wind blows and you're thrown off course. The wind blows the other direction and you're thrown in the opposite direction. And so what I want to help people with in the month of December, right? So December 1st will be our first chat for the month of December.
Okay.
I want to talk to people next month about setting a vision, like really what it takes to set a vision. And I want to show people, right? Well, you know, we work in the financial industry, obviously, right? I want to show people how to turn paychecks into profits, right? I like Jim Rohn's mindset. He says that a paycheck, right, is, you know, work harder on yourself than you do on your job as an investment in your future, right? Absolutely. But he said, you work a job, you can make a living. But if you work on yourself, you can make a fortune.
You can make a fortune.
Right. And so we've been conditioned to go to work to pay bills, go to work to make money. And that's where it stops, right? Or go to work, go to school, get good grades so you can get a good job, so you can go to work and pay bills. and like it stops there. Like there's no vision beyond that. And so for most of us, our vision has stopped at get a job and that's it. Yeah. And so you know, what it was for me was like, all right, I got the job, I got the house, I got the car. Like, what's next, right? Like there has to be a bigger vision, and so
Absolutely.
turning paychecks into profits, I think, is a ideology, if you will, or philosophy that I believe people need to shift to. Right? You get a paycheck, but your life, yes, ma'am. That's a microphone. Yes. You gonna sing? Okay.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. That's priceless.
So, you know, the idea that like you get this paycheck, but that paycheck could be the seed to create.
There you go. There you go. There you go. See, another reason people don't get what they want is they're unwilling to invest themselves. And I hear all kind of little silly reasons why. Oh, that book costs too much. And see, remember, I'm a value guy. See, I believe when the value's right, the cost doesn't matter. Right? Long time ago, I've been investing in myself for a long time, right? But and even before I knew what I'm getting ready to say, I was investing in myself even before this. But now in my mind, I don't think about what I'm investing in. I think about, am I worth it? Right? There's a young man who I know personally who's on Instagram and stuff like that. And he was charging people to just give him a coaching advice, stuff like that, right? And I actually refer some people to him. And a couple of the people, now he's in a world I'm not in, right? He mainly deals in real estate and stuff like that. That's not my deal, right? I got people for that, right? But when people need advice, they're asking me. They want to get involved in this. Boom, boom, boom. I got a few people I can send them to who might be able to give them some advice. And I remember, I'm not going to say the name or how much it was, but it was a number that they need to invest. The number was so ignorantly low, like it was actually embarrassing low, right? $50. I mean, just say the damn number, right? It's like $50. It's so embarrassing low, right? That the young man was charging to have a 15-minute, half an hour coaching session with him about boom, boom, boom. You come on there, ask him questions, boom, 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 boom. You got me? Okay. I actually had somebody, I literally stopped talking to this person. I actually had somebody tell me, well, how do I know the information you're going to give me is going to be worth the $50? For $50, I'll at least see.
Right.
But that told me that person was not willing to invest in themselves. Which also told me when a deal came along and they needed 25 grand or they needed to invest 25 grand, the person has the money, right? But if they need to invest the 25 grand, they're not going to do that. Well, why am I even wasting my time with you?
Yeah.
I remember one time I spent $84 on a book. And the person with me going to ask me, well, you think it's worth it? I told him I'm worth it.
Yeah.
How I look at books this is how I look at books. It's borrowed wisdom. What took John Maxwell 50 years to learn, I get to learn in a week. And the book cost me $25. I'm getting ready to read, I think I told you guys this. I'm getting ready to read Purpose Driven Life again. Rick Warren has updated it, right? He wrote it over a decade ago. He's updated it. He added 2 new chapters, right? I probably just need to revisit it. But I'm worth it. My wife and daughters are worth it. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, don't stop complaining about why you are the way you are in this world, right? One of the questions I've gotten a habit of asking people when I meet with them at any time now, shoot, you can just get on the phone with me. Actually, I got a phone call of a young man I'm very good friends with from Iran, and he called me today, and I was supposed to call him back. I just haven't gotten to, so remind me I'm going to call him after this, right? But one of the questions I'm asking everybody is, hey, what are you reading right now? What are you reading right now? Because if you're not reading anything right now, why are we even talking? You're not adding any value to my life, and I'm probably not adding none to yours because you're not even interested in learning. So even if I gave you some knowledge, you probably ain't going to do nothing with it. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
One
True.
more thing. So I also said one of the reasons people don't get what they want is because of ego. They're not willing to go seek the information and ask people, right? Get in somebody's face. Okay. Here's another big one. They think they know already. And that's a dangerous place. Because you can't learn something you think you already know. I'm speaking to my people of faith too. Yeah. So stop, if you're not reading a book, right? It's sad that so many people, I ask them, hey, what are you reading right now? And they bold enough to say, oh, I'm not reading nothing. Damn, make something up, lie to me. You know what I'm saying? But if I ask them something that's going on in the political world, or I ask them what was on CNN, all stuff that's making your net worth go down, they can tell me. Hey, but what you're reading right now? I got nothing. Crickets. I don't even understand that, right? Or like the spiritual people. Well, I'm reading my word. Okay. I'll play along. Just lying. You lying. Right? Yeah. I guess I'm smelling myself today. I'm just selling it like this. Just lying. Hey, I'm reading my word. I'm doing 3 devotionals right now. I'm walking through John with a friend of mine. The book of John in scripture with a friend of mine. And I'm reading a book. Wild at Heart. And no, I don't skip around to a bunch of books. Another lady asked me that last week. Oh, do you skip? No, I'm finishing that one. I ain't reading 9 books at the same time. Because you never get anything from that. Read one book, commit to do 10% of it, and then move on to another one. And if it's really good, make it a manual like I have. Some books in my life are manuals. They're not books anymore. I go back to them often. Sorry.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to monopolize this thing. We've been on here 42 minutes.
Well, like you mentioned, I like what you said about investing in yourself, because it really does start there. You have to believe that you're worth it. All right. You have to value. And that's where, like I said, I want to shift the conversation, because we put so much value on money, and money is a tool. You alluded to this earlier when you were talking about people think that because you want more, or because you aspire to earn a certain income or reach different levels of success, that you're chasing money, or that's all, you want the material stuff. And what they don't realize is that we see money as a tool, right? So get money as an issue out of the way so that you can get to the things that you want in life, the freedom, right? The time with your family, right? The things that you value most. Something I was listening to Eric Thomas, and that was something that kind of stood out. I was at in a conference that he had this past weekend, and he said the reason why he gets up early, he stays up late, he puts in the work, is because he's working hard, not for the money, but to maintain what he already has, maintain the things that he values most, the relationship with his wife, the relationship with his children, the relationships with the people within his community. And so it requires a certain level of work ethic, of course, but his value isn't on money. Like, the money is a result, right? It comes as a result of the work that you're putting in. Like, you attract it to you because you're focused on living out your purpose, helping other people, fulfilling, like it's those intangible things that really bring about the result of money. And so I really want to help people over this next month going into 20. Don't set this goal for, I want to make but like you said, I don't this arbitrary goal. I want to make a lot of money. I want to, what is it that you want to do with the money that you make? Like, let's get clear on what purpose, right? We want what money can do.
I believe one of the things that money does, hopefully this will speak to some hearts of people. I say it all the time. Money buys you freedom, but in a sense, it also buys you time. There was a time when I didn't want a private jet, right? I didn't want certain things, and now I want a private jet. Now, some people say, "Why? You want to be big balling?" No, I want to buy my time. Now, at that point, I'm buying time now. If let's say my wife and I want to go to Barbados, or we want to go to Panama. She's from Panama, right? I would like to not have to go through customs in Miami, right? I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia right now. So I would normally fly out of here, right? And probably have a connection somewhere. And then, you know, so I got all of a layover, all that. But see, if I own my own jet, it's a straight shot. And customs comes to the tarmac. I ain't got to deal with none of that no more. So how much more time did I buy? Right? And that's more time with my wife and daughter on the black sand beach in Coronado, or, you know, or us in Boca del Toro, whatever that is, right? But the money isn't the issue. You don't want money. You want what it will do, right? I also want to be able to write a check to Messenger International for $1 million every year. I would love to write a check to, you know, A21, and also Our Rescue, Operation Underground Railroad, and Tim Ballard's organization, to help eradicate human trafficking, so they can have more agents, more people out going to find these young women, young girls and women and boys who've been slaved into human trafficking. I would love to do that stuff, right? But those are the type of things, right, that money will do. Right? It's not about Birkins. My wife don't even care about that stuff. I had to force her to buy a dog on Michael Kors bag, because she just deserves it. She deserves a Birkin. She deserves all of that crap. But she don't even care about it. Right? I got to tell my wife, hey, babe, you know, can you go? Which tells you it ain't about money for her. But she loves to eat. Okay, so she want to go eat at any restaurant she want. She don't want to look at the right-hand side of the menu, which you know, we don't look at the right-hand side much, right? We order what the heck we want, right? Whether we gonna end up taking it home or not making it, whatever, that doesn't matter to us now. That's the type of stuff she cares about. And she cares about memories. She cares about trips. She doesn't care about the ring that's on her hand, although she just got a new one. She doesn't care about that stuff. My daughter's pretty simple too. She ain't caring about the name brand. Believe it or not, she likes going thrifting. She goes straight to the men's jeans section. So it's not about money. I'm saying all of this because it's not about money. And please don't look at it as we're not better than anyone else. The facts is we're just trying to live our life the way we want to live it. But we're also trying to inspire other people to live theirs the way you want to. If Birkins are important to you, I am not mad at you. Go get them. Right now, I ain't gonna lie. I would like for you to, you know, invest some of that in some of this human, you know, helping us eradicate human trafficking and helping getting the word of God around the world in numerous languages. But if that's not your deal, whatever. I just want to inspire you to know that you can, whatever God put you here for you to do, you can do it. But you do have to have a strategy. You got to go get it. You got to have a plan. You got to know what it is, and then go after.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at next month.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You know, definitely, like I said, I want to bring some insight to people about how you take your paycheck and you turn it into profits, prosperity, purpose, right? Like all of those things, right? That's the starting point, right? You get an income. What you do with that income? What's next? And so I want that to be the conversation for next month, going into 2021, helping people set some realistic goals, not even realistic, big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yeah, I don't.
What's possible?
I wanted achievable goals, but I don't even want them to be realistic. You know, I say all the time. Actually, I can't even take credit. I heard Will Smith say it this way years ago. He said, it's unrealistic for me to walk into this room, flip a switch, and expect lights to come on. That's unrealistic. Thank God Thomas Edison didn't think so. It's unrealistic for somebody to put us in a big piece of metal and fly us across an ocean. Thank God the Wright brothers didn't think so. So it's a lot of great things that have been created being unrealistic. Actually, nothing great that is created being realistic. Yeah. Only mediocre crap comes out of being realistic. Yeah.
And for our faith community, you know, for those that believe that you are made in the image of the Creator, right? In His likeness, You know, like there's a creator within you, right? So you can create the life that you want. You can design the life that you want, and it's possible.
Yeah. We're not God, but we're created in his image, which means we have some characteristics of him.
Absolutely.
Which
Like you
means
said earlier,
there's some power within us as well, and a lot of times we diminish it. So I'm looking forward to next month, you know, because all the stuff I'm talking about doing, you can't do that with paycheck. You can only do it with profit.
No.
And I'm looking forward to helping a whole bunch of people in 2021 create some profits, and also really get on course to their purpose.
yeah,
Yeah, you're much more excited about life when you're walking in your purpose.
That's right.
absolutely.
Oh
What Brown says, you act as if you have no limits or something. I can't get it. I have to get the wording together. But you have greatness within you, and you know you can walk in your gift and in your purpose, and you act like you have no limitations. And when you have that certain mindset, you know, like the sky's the limit. You know, you can be unstoppable. So I'm excited.
One last thing, we got to get off here. We spend way too much time on here. But you know the funny thing about something just came to me, and this came to me. I was doing something in my home today, and I was replaying in my mind a conversation that somebody was having about with someone else about me. And what it was that I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly how it went, but he said something like, "What, you know, John always got all of these one-liners, right? Or these sayings, as he called it, right?" And then it was another guy he was talking about as well that always has. And I thought about the two guys he was talking about, myself and that other guy. We're always reading some books. And then you just came about, and of course we read so much. We have all of these things in us. And so all these little sayings that we heard and we've adopted and we've kind of applied to our lives. And I'm noticing people that don't read don't have any of those.
Don't be too hard on them, John. They need some direction. They need some guidance. All
I
right.
understand, and I'm here to do that, but I'm also here to disturb you a little bit. Come on, let's shake it up a little bit. Hey, and side note, I said this last week. I hate reading. I'd much rather watch Seinfeld. Matter of fact, all the Hallmark movies are on right now, right? Even though we don't have cable, but you know, you can, you know, all the little Christmas movies are coming out. It's a great time for me and my wife to cuddle and watch some of those. She likes watching them with me. It's awesome. Even our daughter will come downstairs, a teenager, if you will come downstairs and watch those with us. This is awesome. But guess what? I still got to get those 10 pages in a night. I got to do it. Yeah. I'm terrified of the day that someone sits in front of me, or I'm speaking to somebody in my gym, or I'm on a plane and I get to conversing with someone and there's nothing in me. I'm terrified of that day that God sends someone who needs something and there's nothing in there. I'm terrified of that day. I got nothing. And I've had those days. I've had those days that somebody was talking to me, they needed something from me, and I had nothing to give them. And that feeling just sucks. And I try not to let those days come. So I got to constantly be putting something in me, so I got something to pour out.
I like that. Yeah, I got to work on that too. I definitely have to do better. I do get a lot of stuff, but Jim Rohn always sticks with me because he had a very simple philosophy that like resonated with me. So like I can always pull his stuff, but some of these other ones I gotta hear them a little more often. But Jim Rohn, I haven't listened to some of his stuff in years, but like I can always recall it, you know, from memory. Simple one-liners, right? Those things that like profits are better than wages.
Yeah. I was like that with Stephen Covey. I'm like that with John Bevere. I'm like that with it's so easy. Those are easy, right? I love Les Brown, but some stuff it doesn't stick.
He's
all the
got a
way.
phenomenal memory.
I
Like
mean,
he recalls different stuff from different people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, my wife says I'm a black Stephen Furtick. I take that as a compliment because I think that's a phenomenal guy. Also, I hear that about my own bishop. That him and I are a lot alike, and some people think we look alike for some reason. I don't see it, but okay. But to be even spoken in the same line with some of these guys is just a huge compliment in my heart. But yeah, you're right. It's some stuff that we take in and becomes a part of us. Some of T. Harv Eker's stuff has become a part of it, but not all of it. But if you're not reading anything, you gotta put the right things in you. What you put in is what you get out. And the funny thing is, Scripture says that we crave what we feed on. Not we feed on what we crave. We crave what we feed on. So if you're constantly feeding yourself garbage, Twinkies, guess what you crave? Twinkies.
Garbage,
right?
Yeah.
But when you change your palate to crave the right things, to crave the right things, if you feed on those types of things, all of a sudden now you crave them. I crave salads, but I eat a lot of salads, and I actually crave them. Some people crave chicken wings, and I can go without them, but yeah, and it's just, but that's years of kind of training my body and stuff like that. But believe it or not, Scripture even says you crave what you feed on.
Well, I know you'll bring a lot of valuable insight to the conversation for the month of December. So if you've enjoyed the conversation tonight or got some value out of it, like it, share it, sit down with a friend and listen to it again. And we definitely want to bring more value to the conversation next month. So for Momentum Chat, we're going to be talking about writing a vision, making it plain, turning paychecks into profits. And we want you to be a part of that conversation with us. So
we do.
Once again, thank you, John, for your experience, your insight, your knowledge.
Thank you.
And so your challenge, right, to the audience, to put themselves in a better position, to get into a better environment, a different mind space, and to start reading some books, right, exposing themselves to a different way of thinking, because that's what's going to facilitate. That's going to be the catalyst for the change. You got to start thinking differently in order to get a different result in your life, and books are a great way to do that. So, thank you all for joining us. We look forward to talking with you next week, and we hope you have a great holiday. Stay safe, enjoy your families, and have some conversations with them, right? Just start the conversation, ask some questions, right? John says all the time, questions deepen you. All right. I forgot about the answers. Answers do something else, right? Questions deepen you, right? So ask some questions just to get those wheels turning and start to move in a different direction, right? 2021 really starts right now, having a plan, not just for 2021, but for the next 5, 10, 15, 50 years, next 3 generations of your family. If you're thinking about legacy, you got to start thinking about what you can do right now to facilitate and be the foundation for that growth. And we want to help some other people, like John said, inspire other people through our example about how they can do it too, right? We just were fortunate that we came across some people in our lives who were able to inspire us and get us to move in a better direction. And so we know that it's possible for other people to shift and to change. And so we want to be that catalyst for someone else. So we thank you. We look forward to chatting with you, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.